Good evening, Robin. This is Carolina, and it's lovely to connect with you on Facebook. And I figured there are so many options in the Galapagos. I will jump on here and just tell you about them in person so you can kind of understand. I have been offering Ecuador since 2006. I have been to South America 30 plus times. I have been to the Galapagos many times throughout pandemic, after the pandemic, before the pandemic. I did island hopping, I did cruising, so I can answer any of your questions. I chose 5 boats for you. I know you are interested in traveling at the end of February or beginning of March, so I'm going to show you the options now. This is the itinerary that I'm sending you a link to, but I figured we can go over them together. So it's quite flexible, everything around the Galapagos. You mentioned not wanting to stop in Quito or not spending a lot of time there, that you want to make sure that you have enough time to connect. So your international flight usually arrives in the evening. Sometimes the flights are delayed. So if you are arriving after midnight and your flight to the Galapagos is 9 in the morning, it's very tight, and I don't want you to lose your investment because the boat does not wait for you. If you miss your flight to the Galapagos, you are not going to make the boat. So include that additional night either in Quito or in Guayaquil, and we will make sure that you are well taken care of. So when you arrive, you can choose Quito or Guayaquil. They're very different cities. Quito is old, colonial, very indigenous, very colorful, cobblestone cathedrals, churches. It's on the equator line, so you can go to that experience. It's surrounded by volcanoes, so you can ride a gondola to one of the volcano tops. There's plenty to fill your day. So if you choose Quito, this is the hotel that we included. It's called Hotel Plaza Grande. It's a beautiful 5-star hotel right in the main square. Now, if you choose Guayaquil, Guayaquil is a modern city. It's right on the river. It's bustling. It's very commercial. And if you spend the days there, we will choose the Wyndham. It's one of the newer hotels here. Guayaquil kind of has like that 80s vibe and other hotels. So I want you to have a really fresh hotel. This one also has a really good restaurant, and it's connected to the Malecon, which is a long boardwalk for miles. I believe it's 8 miles long, filled with parks and attractions. So there's plenty to see and do on your own here. I haven't included any touring. I just included a guide to pick you up from the airport, a good car to take you to your hotel. The 2 nights hotels are included with breakfast, with taxes, no surprises, and making sure that you are prepared for the islands. So that will be day 1 and day 2. Day 3, this is the important day. You're going to the Galapagos, and Galapagos is a protected area, so it has lots of rules and regulations. You kind of go through customs when you get to either airport, Guayaquil or Quito. So we will take you to the airport, and at the airport we have a Galapagos assistant. The reason he's there is because there's like 6 stops at the airport, all these logistics to go through, and it can get a little bit frustrating and confusing. So to have a local person take you through all the steps and make sure you make your flight is so relaxing. It's such a nice way to start the vacation. So that is what we will do for you. To get to the Galapagos, you will need an ID card and an entry ticket. An ID card is $20, but you need a specific window to get it printed. And the entry card is $100, so you want to make sure you're at the right place to get it. All of those things are included and taken care of for you. So once you land in the Galapagos and the flight is included, when you are looking at Galapagos, remember that the flights to the islands, the boat, 90% of the boats want to take care of the flights for you. That is to make sure you are on the right flight. Everybody arrives on the same time, so everybody can go to the boat together. If you choose to do your own flights to the Galapagos, which I do not recommend because the flights sometimes are quite a mess. You will book them, then they'll get canceled or rescheduled. Unless you are on this charter booking of the boat, it can get really messy. So if you do them on your own, you're gonna have to sign a disclaimer from the boat that if you miss your boat because of your flights, they're not responsible. But this is what I mean, lots of politics and logistics in the Galapagos. But we will get you there. I have been doing this for many, many years. So once we get to the Galapagos, and the reason there's no dates next to this day 1, day 2, day 3 is because we will choose the boat now, which works best for you. I have focused on 4-night, 5-day cruises based on your message to me. So let me show you what that would look like. But before I even show you the boats, when you're in the islands, everything is taken care of. So as soon as you arrive, the team from the cruise that we choose is there to meet you, takes you to the port. And once you're on the boat, everything is included, all your excursions, all your activities. Twice a day, you'll get off the boat to do different hikes, wet landings, dry landings, different beaches, different colors. Then almost every day you will have an opportunity to swim, snorkel. Some boats have kayaks on board, so you will be able to kayak if that's something that interests you. So it's very, very inclusive. It doesn't matter if you choose a high-end boat, a large boat, a small boat, a low-budget boat. All of the guides that work on the Galapagos, they go through the same process. They can only take 16% to a guide, so that you will see 16 being like a magical number in the Galapagos. So don't worry about the guides depending on what boat you choose. They are all fantastic. They all come from the same schooling. They speak English. They're super passionate about the Galapagos. It's a coveted position and it's a lifelong position. So they really don't let go of it. So don't worry about that. They will take really good care of you. So here are the boats. So the pricing of the package will depend on the boat we choose. So I have 5 for you here. The first one is the Archipel. It is a 16-person catamaran. So there's 8 cabins in there. They call themselves a first-class boat. So you would think it's kind of like a mid-range boat. It's not a budget one, it's like a mid-range boat. So you have a private cabin, there's no bunk beds, you have a private bathroom. It's still a small boat, so there's only 16 people max going on to the excursions with you, but there are no frills on this boat. So for something like this, with everything included, your mainland services, your flights, your entry tickets, ID cards, of course, all inclusive cruise is $43.37 per person. And the dates that the cruise goes is, you see, the end of February, 4 nights on board. All your meals, all your soft drinks, but alcohol is not included in the Galapagos, and you will almost never see alcohol included in the Galapagos. It's just not that type of audience here. The second boat that I have for you is the Millennium. It is an older vessel, but I really like it because it's nice and bright and airy. It's very large windows, and some of the largest cabins in the Galapagos are on this boat. Special thing about this boat is that they do 5 nights. So it's 6 days, 5 nights. So you actually get an extra day in the Galapagos on this itinerary. So for this one, also 16 people on board, also 8 cabins, and the price is $53.26 per person. All you would need to think about adding are your international flights from home. So depending on where you live, we can help you with international flights. I am located in Florida. I usually fly to Galapagos from Fort Lauderdale to either Quito or Guayaquil. It's a nonstop flight from JetBlue, and I sometimes get it for $300. So it's a really good deal to fly down to Ecuador. Speaking of the season that you chose, I love February and March in the Galapagos because it's the time when the water is the calmest and the warmest, so you don't need wetsuits. Every boat does have wetsuits if you do enjoy wearing them. All right, next boat is the Anahi, and this used to be my go-to boat. I have sent probably over 100 people on this boat. The owner is fantastic. He named this catamaran after his daughter. They offer a really great program. And the suites up here, which is included in your package, are some of the largest. So the Millennium has really nice standard rooms. This one has really nice suites. There are only 2 suites on top. And I really like it because it's the only room that faces forward. So you literally wake up with views right out your window. And that, I just realized I didn't put the description here. My apologies. I will add that right now. It's the first week of March. It's 4 nights as well. And same concept, 16-person, and it has the double hulls. What does that mean? It means it's even smoother. And because of the double hulls, it cuts through the water quite fast. So it will go faster than a typical yacht. All these things you learn in the Galapagos. The fourth boat I have for you is the Calypso. So the Calypso is now we're entering like the more upscale boats. They're brand new. It is a beautiful yacht. It's very, it's fresh. You see, it was upgraded in 2019. They have a 4-night, 16-person, but you see it's a different shape than the catamarans. So the cabins are a little bit different, but all of these have private bathrooms and all of that. So the Calypso, this newer boat, is $62.76 for their package. But you see, they have something like crazy, like free Wi-Fi. You'll never see Wi-Fi in the Galapagos. So they're really trying to do different things. And they also are experts in diving. So if that is of interest, you should talk about this one. And my last one is the Natural Paradise. I usually charter this for families and for groups because I have never had a bad experience with them. They are one of my luxury perfect options here. Again, 4 nights. I chose March 7th to the 11th, but I believe they also have one more date in February available. They have a few cabins left. I chose for you the junior suite so that you could have a balcony. And that one is $69.42 for the package with everything included. And these guys have the frills. They have the kayak, stand-up paddleboard, they have a jacuzzi on board. So you will definitely feel like there's a lot more amenities. But all of the boats in the Galapagos always have a public area where you will meet every day with the guides to discuss what you're going to be doing. Every one of them has a panga or 2 pangas to take you on and off the islands. And they also have dining in 2 places, always one indoors and one al fresco. So you kind of get to eat outside amongst the islands. It's a really beautiful experience. Once we kind of narrow down to what boat suits you best, we can discuss what islands you're going to be visiting, what itinerary you're going to be hitting. So let me know first which one sounds best. In the Galapagos, there are a few larger boats. So if you like the idea of being on a bigger boat, I have one that holds 30 people. I have one that holds 90 people. So let me know and I will check with them. They are never my first to go to because larger group means a lot more chaos. You're splitting between guides. There's multiple pangas going and coming. And then obviously on the islands, you're there with 90 people. So it's a different experience. I have done one of those larger boats myself. It was a wonderful experience. You can't do Galapagos wrong, but it was definitely a different experience, way less intimate than the smaller boats. So like I said, internal flights to and from the Galapagos from the mainland, all your accommodations on in either Quito or Guayaquil for 2 nights, your meals as I specify on the itinerary, so B means breakfast, L means lunch, D means dinner, all your transportation, all your assistance in the airports, like I mentioned with the Galapagos, entry tickets, gate fees, all of that is included. So all you really want to talk about is international flights, where are you flying from, what airline suits you best, there's some activities during that free day in Quito, you want to make sure you have a little bit of a budget for that if you're going to go out to dinner. And then Ecuador requires you to have travel insurance. So I work with Alliance. I can definitely help you get a quote for that. So just give me a ring, let me know. I'm going to send all of this to you now. I'm stopping to share. And then we can discuss. We can get on a Zoom like this. I'm in Florida, so East Coast, easy. Or we can email or Facebook message, whatever works. Happy travels.